Drag, drag culture, drag queens.
We're all obsessed, but do we actually know where drag came from? Today we're going to be going through the forgotten parts of drag herstory.
We're starting our history lesson in the 1800s with William Dorsey Swann, the first ever self-described drag queen.
He was a black man born into slavery in Maryland around 1858 and went on to lead a queer resistance and make drag history darling. He truly walked so we could sashay. No wonder his friends called him the Queen.
Now, let's leap to the 1930s, where drag was popping up in gay bars,
But it was a secret, so shh.
At this time in the US, it was illegal for same-sex couples to dance together.
But did that stop them? Spoiler alert, of course it didn't.
Instead, it encouraged one person to drag it up,
So to the unknowing eye, it was just a sensible heterosexual couple having a moment. By the 1950s, drag finally became entertainment. Most iconically, the Black Cat Cafe in San Francisco staged the most revolutionary drag queens. Introducing their headline act, Jose Julio Saria, but you can call him Empress Jose I, a former soldier in World War II who lived openly as a gay man.
The 1960s is a huge turning point for LGBT+ rights.
But did you know that the Stonewall Riots couldn't have happened without our drag friends?
A few seconds appreciation for Stormé DeLarverie, please.
Stormé was a butch drag king and was understood to have thrown the first punch at the Stonewall Riots and sparked the uprising. We must also celebrate the legendary Black and Latinx duo Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson, who were pioneers in the LGBT+ rights movement. The pair would likely identify as trans women today, but identified fiercely as drag queens in the 60s and 70s. Now we're taking you to the 1970s, where drag made its way into the mainstream, baby. Yep, society was served some drag goodness, and guess what? They loved it.
Starting in 1972, when John Waters cast drag legend Divine for his film Pink Flamingos.
Then in 1978, Sylvester released the disco anthem You Make Me Feel in drag to an international audience. Bet the drag community felt mighty proud. By the 1980s, drag had taken on a new life at the New York ballroom scene, a safe space for queer youth of colour to express themselves. At these balls, predominantly queer people of colour would perform categories with the hope of snatching those trophies. Importantly, this was also the era of houses, where drag mothers would adopt children who'd been abandoned by their families by providing them with a community, but also helping them compete.
Voguing can be traced back to these very balls.
Yep, hate to break it to you, but Madonna actually took it from the New York drag scene. Not only did Madonna's hit single Vogue draw attention to this era, but also Jenny Livingston's controversial documentary, Paris is Burning. This famous documentary followed three iconic houses, La Beija, Extravaganza, and Ninja, and gave the rest of the world a taste for drag. The popularity of Vogue and Paris is Burning was evidence that the mainstream had a taste for all things drag. Whilst all this was happening underground, a certain RuPaul was working the New York clubs with his gender bender style performances. In 1993, RuPaul became a drag superstar and a household name after releasing his hit single, Supermodel, You Better Work.
Jumping to 2009, and drag is welcomed into all of our homes with the release of RuPaul's Drag Race.
150 episodes later, and it's fair to say that RuPaul's Drag Race has made herstory, showcasing iconic drag queens like Shangela, who even went on to perform in A Star is Born alongside Lady Gaga. It's clear that drag is ever evolving and will continue to challenge people's beliefs on what makes womanhood, manhood, and everything marvelous in between. But for now, it's time to sashay away.